What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode where we talk about the NAS100, potential moves we plan on making. Big shout out to all you guys that's seen the thumbnail, you've clicked it, you come over to see what all the fuss is all about. Well, today we're just going to be going over the market roundup, what we've seen so far in the week, and what we think is going to be taking place from Monday onwards next week, i.e., hence why the thumbnail is called Market Roundup. Okay, so first things first, we're going to turn on all the work that we did from Wednesday, right? And on Wednesday, I basically said that price was going to shoot up and come to this yellow line over here, which is price point 11288.27, and price did that. So he went up and then he flew down. Okay, and I have to admit to you guys, I actually got caught out in this trade. And reason why I got caught out in this trade is the thing that I hate doing the most is what I did. So what I basically did was I put in a pending buy order at this level right here. So let me just grab this, right? So I put a pending buy order right here and I covered this wick over here. So we're just going to zoom in a little bit closer so we can get a really in-depth look of how it overall went down. Sorry. So I covered this wick over here, right? My stop was just below it, to say about here. And what happened was price went up, which basically a liquidity grab, more or less, right? And shook me out. And by the time I realized I was ready out of the trade, like I said earlier this week, that I was going to be quite busy throughout the week, so I wouldn't really have time to analyze the market in the way that I wanted to. And the opportunity came up, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is a no-brainer. Rather than try to catch it at the bottom, I'm going to catch it at the top and ride it all the way to the upside. And what basically happened was market went up, triggered me, and then came right back down and stopped me out. So I lost about 100 pips on that day, right, which was yesterday. So so I just had to eat that L, right? So right now I'm not in any trade at all, because what is going on in this area over here is actually quite interesting. One of two things could be happening, right? And I'm going to go into all of that with you. So first things first, we're going to get rid of this level because we don't need this level anymore. We're going to get another one. We're going to find another one for Monday to use, but that one is no good. All the daily lows so far are still relevant. So let me just go back and just double check. Just make sure all the daily lows are all still relevant. Right, so yep, still relevant. Yeah, they're all relevant. I don't need to go back and check. I know which ones I use. So they're all relevant, right? Now, this area, it's the area of interest for us right now because a couple things could be happening in that location, right? And one of the things that I think could be happening in this location is that we might have a channel forming, and it looks like it's already begun the process. Now, I could be wrong. It could be a channel, or it could just be a consolidation just to confirm that it will continue to go down, right? So it's one of those two that could be happening for next week. And that's what we kind of want to factor in. So at least when I'm making my moves for next week, I would know what to look out for. So the channel I'm talking about is a channel like this. It hasn't formed yet, but it could happen. Okay, it could happen because you already have the tops over here and we already have the bottoms over here. Now this could be a consolidation, so it could just be zigzagging to break down some more. That definitely it could happen. Okay, we're not going to discount that, but for the meantime we're just going to go with the fact that it could be a channel, right? It could be a channel to break down even further, because like I said, market wants to go to 666. Okay, market actually wants to go down there and it's going to take that route. So what I think is going to happen is the same situation that we've seen over here with this channel is the same thing we're going to see down here, right? Actually, as a matter of fact, let me use this one instead. I think I've got a better tool. It's much cleaner and it looks nicer as well. So just draw it to about here to the middle trend, right? So what we could have is price continues to bounce up, down, up to about this level, and this is the trend line that it is following and obeying, right? And then break down. Okay, so the most decent spot for it to break down to would be about here somewhere, in my opinion. So let's just drag this along a little bit. That's what I think, right? So areas of concern that we want to be looking at right now is, first and foremost, how much is this channel, if this is indeed a channel, how much is it worth to us, right? So this channel from top to bottom, it's worth 717 pips. Not bad. That we can work with. Either way, either selling or buying, as long as you catch the top, that is what you'd be looking at. All right. So what could the scenario be if this is indeed a consolidation? So if this area over here is indeed a consolidation, only to break down. So what I mean by consolidation, for those guys that are new to the channel for the first time, is something like this. The same channel like the one that I've drawn, right? The same channel, the one that I've drawn, but just a little bit smaller. It's a little bit smaller and it doesn't go on for too long, right? And it will kind of dance around in the zone like this, right? Where it will just produce wicks in this zone. And if you go into like a lower time frame, you would then get a better picture. And then it will go something like this and then it will break down, right? Should that be the case next week, then we know, right, that this is a price point where market wants to go to. So let me just move this over here so you guys can see. So you can see market would want to go to this level right here if this is a consolidation. So there's two scenarios that I've painted for you guys. A larger channel where it drags on and it comes down to about this level, right? This level right here. Okay, this right here. And if it does a smaller consolidation, it breaks through and goes even further. So that basically means it violates this overall structure over here. So therefore, the structure would now need to be made wider to accommodate all those positions. And the bottom channel that we can see at the bottom right here, so if I was to zoom out a little bit, so what could end up happening, right? So let's just play around with this for a minute, right? Let's just play around with this situation for a second. Let's just have a look to see what would happen if, okay, so let's keep this there. Let's make this wider. And then let's drag this up a bit. Okay. Right. Now, we can see that this overall channel has created a whole new dynamic where this bottom trend line, this break, should it do this, makes sense to us. So let me move this over here somewhere. And let me move this over here somewhere. Right? So if this, so say for example, scenario number one, if, actually wait, we're going to do this again. We'll do this again and we just use a different color this time so it's more clearer, right? So this is scenario number one and we're going to do scenario number two. So scenario number two, price does this. I know it looks really messy, folks. Please forgive me for this. It comes to about this level over here, or just maybe just over it, right? And then it lands at this zone to continue doing whatever it is it's going to do. So let's zoom out. So these are the scenarios that we're looking at. So scenario number one, no, scenario number two, sorry. Let's make this yellow. Actually, no. Let's make this red. And let's go back in here so we can try to cover the whole space. So scenario number 1, which is the blue line, it comes down to this price point over here. And let's grab the price, make it a bit closer, right? Scenario number 1, it comes down to the zone after breaking structure at the bottom, right? And the overall structure, if expanded, so this little channel over here, if expanded, it covers this point. So in my opinion, it will make this area a likely spot for price to go to. Okay, second scenario, which is the red zigzag that I've just drawn, right? The red trend. That is if it continues in this channel that we've seen. It goes all the way up to the top of this particular structure and also this particular trend line as well, and then breaks down where it would come down to this price right here, right? And then it might just continue to zigzag some more and then break down again down to this particular level, which is 9642.31. So these are the two scenarios that I'm looking at as a potential play for next week, right? And also bearing in mind that price is still going down. So although we want to try to catch it to the upside, there is a good chance that price will still do something in line of shooting down to the downside. Because like I said, the areas what I'm looking at right now is filling me with not an uptrend but a downtrend, right? That is what I think is going to be going down. That is what I think is going to be happening. Will it happen? I don't know, but it's something that could definitely happen. So guys, if you found the content useful and you want to see more content like this, where we just talk exclusively about the NAS, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and hit the like button. These 3 moves will take you less than 2 seconds to do. Alright? So, and that is if you found the content useful. So that is my calls for this week in terms of what I'm expecting for next week. So that will be pretty much the market roundup for the end of the week and what we could expect from next week. So with that said, folks, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode. I truly appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be on Monday. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.